Salem, New Hampshire, Al Bernstein and Dave Bontempo, and we've got what promises to be a very, very entertaining welterweight matchup featuring Adrian Stone and James Hughes. First, a look at Adrian Stone's the Briton, who believes he could be a champion.
Adrian Stone hopes to make his boxing career a British invasion. This 23-year-old native of England has done well in his 2-year U.S. stint. Stone put together a stellar 1994, 7-0. His most recognizable victim is Curtis People. Stone exploded in the 7th and put a pretty good opponent away. Label his last outing on Top Rank Boxing, Theater of the Absurd. Stone met Ross Thompson in what should have been an intriguing matchup of unbeatens. Thompson inexplicably held more than some NFL teams, and since he couldn't be penalized 15 yards, Thompson was disqualified. This should be different.
Yeah, I think it's going to be something I'm going to enjoy more. Somebody coming to fight than run away. Then, you know, keep running. It's going to be good. It's going to be an exciting fight.
James Hughes is an interesting fighter to handicap. His 8 losses would make Hughes easy to write off. But his 16 knockouts and 20 wins make Hughes impossible to dismiss. Throw in the fact Hughes has fought his last 4 opponents on the road, and you get the impression of a fighter capable of breaking out. He almost did against Eric Holland before losing a disputed call. Hughes did break out in grand style against Anthony Stevens. After losing the early rounds, he stormed back and back. Hughes notched an astonishing 5 knockdowns. He needed them all because the fight was scored even entering round 12. But the TKO victory gave this traveling ring salesman the USBA title. And tonight, he looks to be aggressive again.
It's not quite going to be the same style with Stevens because he was a boxer. But I'm going to test this guy early. You know, I know he's going to be tough, you know, but he's not fought the caliber of fighters that I have fought. So, you know, it's going to be really action-packed the first few rounds. Most definitely.
All right, we'll see if it is. There you see the punches thrown by these two guys, Dave. They're both busy.
Stone has an edge as far as the average, a little bit better in the connections, and the average is there. You would go back to that Stevens fight where Hughes was outpunched early numerically and came on with power. That's what he would try to do again tonight as he comes in there with the cowboy hat.
Working the crowd. It's a hostile crowd, but he's working it.
He's used to fighting on the road, and
that's for
what
sure.
will he do? What are his own keys in this fight?
Let's take a look at him.
Hughes wants to back Stone up, push him around, utilize the experience he's had. He's fought far more fighters. Stone wants to have the better jab. The durability factor will be key to him tonight as he goes in and makes one step up.
Who will use those keys better? We'll find out. The USBA Welterweight Championship on the line. Adrian Stone and Jesse James Hughes. Let's go up to Michael in center of the ring.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's Top Rank Boxing on ESPN continues. This is the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. This bout is sanctioned by the New Hampshire Boxing Commission, Chairman Bobby Stephen, Commissioners Art Nolan and Rudy Irvin. Physician at ringside, Dr. Joel Solomon. The timekeeper is Bobby LaChance. Counting for the knockdown seconds will be Joe LaChance. This contest is also sanctioned by the United States Boxing Association, USBA Supervisor ringside, Darrell Peoples. The 3 judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Steve Epstein, Jim Finnegan, and William Hutt. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Sports Club at Rockingham Park here in Salem, New Hampshire, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the USBA Welterweight Championship. When the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Dick Flaherty. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trimmed in black, weighing 147 pounds. Originally from Bristol, England, but now living and fighting out of Paterson, New Jersey, he brings an excellent record of 13-0 with 1 draw, 8 KOs to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the undefeated challenger, Adrian, the Predator Stone! And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black and weighing 146 pounds, from Mobile, Alabama. His professional record, 20 victories, 16 by KO, against 8 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the USBA welterweight champion, Jesse James Hughes.
Let's take a look at the rules for this USBA bout, Dave.
No 3 knockdown rule in effect here. Referee will have to make a judgment call. No standing 8 count. The referee can stop the fight. 10-point must-scoring system in effect. No abacus. 3 judges score the fight, and a fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round.
12 rounds. We're going to come out boxing in each round. Okay, touch them up, guys. Okay.
So we look at Adrian Stone in his corner. You saw him last against Ross Thompson, winning by disqualification. And over in the other corner, the man who had that thrilling win in October over Anthony Stevens to win the USBA title, James Hughes. Now, Hughes was supposed to defend that title against Stevens. A couple of months later, had a cut over his eye and couldn't participate, but he says the cut is fine now.
He showed a real tough attitude, saying he would go back to New Orleans if necessary, the hometown of Stevens, and fight him again. As you see, the knockout ratios there, pretty good for both fighters. Even though the judges had had a draw in the last fight and considered hostile territory, he says, I always go on the road and it doesn't matter. You go right back in a minute.
That's for sure. That fight in Shreveport, Louisiana, they've said the home area for Anthony Stevens. There's Hughes bouncing a right hand off the head of Adrian Stone. Neither man is really what you'd call that much of a mover, though I guess Hughes has a little more lateral movement in his arsenal.
There's that Stone jab, which we pointed out in the keys. We'll see how that develops during the course of this bout.
This one is scheduled for 12. It is for the USBA title. Hughes is a 29-year-old who feels that his career is getting a second start from that win over Anthony Stevens. Stone would like to put a quick end to that new start tonight.
It only takes one sterling performance to make a new start. That's why we see so many new starts in boxing. Nice left hook on the inside by Adrian Stone.
Stone, I think, known a little bit more as a right-hand puncher, and yet he does have a good left hook. In the numbers before this fight, you notice that they land about the same number of jabs. But in this round so far, I think Adrian Stone might be getting the better of it.
Well, Adrian Stone would like to put some points in the bank early if he can. He's never been more than 8 rounds, and here we are scheduled for 12, a major step up. But in terms of endurance for him, a cushion would be paramount.
You know what? I think in the back of his mind, Dave, I think Adrian Stone thinks he can win by knockout. And I'm sure all fighters do. But in this fight, both men, truthfully, both men, I think, came in here thinking they could win by knockout.
And you take a look at Hughes off his last fight, he certainly has every reason to believe that. Willingly giving away early rounds so that he could gradually overpower Stevens. And Adrian Stone has knocked out 8 of his 13 opponents. He thinks like a knockout fighter, and that's, for him, the right way to go into this.
You know, James Hughes is not the quickest starter of all time, and he said he wanted those first rounds to be quick ones. And his first round has been waged on very even terms.
Stone initiating a little more, getting some sharper shots in. And Hughes looking for a spot to put his right hand.
So we'll be back for round 2.
Adrian Stone, left hand, gets in there, nice little short hook.
Right on the point of the jaw to James Hughes. I think for a moment Hughes kind of understood the power of Adrian Stone. Stone in the white trunks, originally from Bristol, England, is now living here in the United States, in Patterson, New Jersey. And Jesse James Hughes from a world apart in Mobile, Alabama. Hughes defending his USBA welterweight title. Now Hughes has gotten the jab in and the right hand as well, Dave, but he's pushing with that right hand a bit.
And Stone able to land some counter right shots in there, and Stone with a good edge, very significant in jabs in the opening round. That's the kind of percentage he'd like to keep up, and we talked about that in the keys. In the first round, he certainly did what the plan indicated. Stone has gotten himself involved with Stan Hoffman, a very wily manager who's known when to move fighters up. He was with Iran Barkley when Barkley fought Hearns, and Hoffman with a pretty good, keen sense of when to take a shot with his fighter, and he thought this was the time for Adrian Stone.
Well, he has such a good sense that he's gone well over a year with fighters never losing here on ESPN's Top Rank Boxing.
He may have the longest managerial win streak on the show.
It could well be. We've never added those things up, but it's possible. Halfway through round 2, Al Bernstein, Dave Bontempo here at the Rockingham Park Racetrack. Big left hook by Adrian Stone. He has found a home for that, and he's whacking James Hughes on the inside.
He's really been tight with his punches, and Hughes has been going outside wider shots.